exact same thing.
Hey, we're live.
Are we live?
Hey, we
Nick's
live.
wearing that's so funny. And Lane's wearing we both have one. That was awesome. So we are live right now?
Yep.
We
Look at Nick just getting shit done
are the shit.
on this setup.
Look at Tucker just being a good boy.
Oh my god, hold on. I gotta get stay there, Tucker. No,
Don't move.
Don't go crazy, dude. Stay right. You stay your ass right there. No, hold on.
Tucker just being good as boy.
Look at him. I mean, diligently watching the guys get set up.
We are live. We are spin.
Are we
We are
live?
cutting edge.
Yeah, it's live right now.
We are some no scoring situations.
Woo! All right, let's. I'm gonna share this feed. I might need Nick's assistance. Oh, here's a live. So this is our live right here. So how do I, Nick? You get that to our Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I'm gonna let everybody trickle on in here for all of our subscribers. We hope that everyone has subscribed to our YouTube channel so they can enjoy this post-game recap of the Jimmy V Classic, in which, boys, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done. What's that? Some Friendswood B-balls?
Friends with women's basketball.
Oh man, how the Lady Mustangs doing?
Doesn't look good. Coach T's coaching them now.
That's good. Are we getting that live up on Twitter? Y'all just trickle on in. We're about to get going on some great recap content here. Not a pretty game, but a win. There's a saying that Lane and Nick can back me up on. That is a win is a win
It's
is a win.
And against the top 15 opponent.
It's definitely a win when it's top 15, and it's in the Jimmy V Classic. Special night for Texas Tech, for the Ramblin' Raiders. You love to see it. Look at us all cozied up on that live feed. How's it looking, Nick?
Cameron Nick says trickle in like our buckets did all night. That's actually good.
That's a great comment.
Maybe.
Mr. Nick, you're right, dude. They were trickling and slowly but surely. Nick, can we get that up on Twitter?
Yeah, it's up.
We scored enough.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going, and we're gonna start off with the quintessential Ramblin' Raiders.
Nice crispy boy.
A nice beer crack. Here, cheers.
Quintessential Rambler. Oh, shit.
Nick with a shot, man. What a game. Y'all come on in, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your ex-girlfriend. Y'all pile in here. We're ready to recap that. It was a dub.
How dare you?
It was a dub, but it was somewhat brutal
It was an absolutely pathetic display of shooting
of a win.
by both teams.
Let's just start. Let's start with here. I'm about to pull up ESPN here.
Go ahead and start with Tennessee, I think, shooting close to 10% from three.
I think it was they got hot at the end.
I think it was still, they only raised their percentage.
Well, but here, before all that, again, let's raise a glass, guys. Texas Tech finds a way. They have now, I don't know what our history was prior to that Duke game, and I believe it was 2019 or 18 when we lost to
I think
Duke
it was 19 because it was the year we went
with the Natty.
Natty.
That's right. We lost that one. Since then, we've beaten the number one team in the nation, Louisville, and now we've beaten the 13th ranked Tennessee Vols in what was a bruiser of a game and an eyesore to watch. But the bottom line is Texas Tech finds a way to get it done when it matters most against a ranked opponent in the Jimmy V Classic. Say what you will, but I'm going to raise a glass. Texas Tech gets a huge dub, and now we're going to break it down for you guys. Let's start. Go
We
ahead.
find a way to get it done in the name of Bacho. We spell redemption Batcho.
Daniel, I think that's his first name, Daniel Bacho. Initially, we're going to start with negatives, end with positives here. I'm going to start us off. Turnovers, 15 turnovers as opposed to Tennessee's 9. Overall, this was a sloppy game. Guys, defense looked great for both these teams. Lane called it on our podcast that released today, Nick, that this team, Tennessee's the same way last year. They struggle to score, but they have that tenacious defense just like Texas Tech does. And it was a dogfight.
This was an unders lover.
It was an unders lover. Nick, give me an initial reaction, man. What did you feel about this one? Now that the tequila's settling into your body a little bit.
It's flowing through my veins. 2 in a row in the Jimmy V Classic for Texas Tech. Who did we beat last year?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Well, that was
big
might
one.
have been 2 years ago.
You
So
sure?
so we skipped a year. We went
Yeah.
Duke, Louisville, skip this year.
Yeah. 2 in a row, nonetheless, for Texas Tech in the Jimmy V Classic. Good win, good feel-good win. Needed it for our resume. Out of the Providence Tennessee matchup, back-to-back games for us. We needed at least one, and it feels
We
good
got
to
it.
at least just get one in an overtime victory. Mark Adams 1-0 in overtime this year. Made the adjustments. Shannon, good job coming in late and double for him, scoring in overtime to put us up big. First team to 45 points.
Would have won in regulation. But if you got to 45 in that game in regulation, you would have won. But we fell just short with the free throw.
First question: does this make Tech a top 25 team? I think it puts you close. I don't know if it quite. I think it puts you in about the 23 to 36 ish,
Yeah.
35 ish range.
We haven't been getting any love from the press, from the AP this year so far for basketball. So I say no.
I've been saying for a while, for a couple of weeks, that we needed to win one of the 3 big non-conference games we had, which was Providence, Tennessee, and Gonzaga. I thought if we won one of those, that we would be ranked going into Big 12 play, but it'll be close. We just have to wait and see.
And Tennessee, y'all, I mean, we previewed
That's a
them.
good team.
They're not a bad team. I know they didn't show it tonight. Nobody showed how good they were tonight. It was a defensive slugfest. But as bad or as sloppy as that game was, Texas Tech can put a feather in their cap when it comes to that win, because I guarantee you Tennessee is going to make noise in the SEC. They're a well-coached team with Rick Barnes. They play a hard-nosed brand of defense that gets it done, 8 times out of 10, gets it done, majority of days of the week. It was a slop fest, a slop bowl, if you will. I mean, we're sitting there in the second half. Nick and I are watching the first half. We're enjoying it. We trimmed the tree earlier. Lane missed that. Got the Christmas vibes just right. Tech goes on a bit of a scoring run. Didn't close it out well, but we have a 4-point lead at half. I believe it was 20 in the 20s, 28 to 24, something like that. 4 or 5 point lead. Second half, just neither team can buy one, y'all. Tennessee, and let's pull up the stats. I think Nick just had it, but
There was a good 6-7 minutes where neither team scored anything.
Here's the deal.
A good chunk of the second half, late in the second half, where neither team got a single bucket. There was layups missed, wide open jumpers missed. I mean, it was just atrocious offensive.
Texas Tech 19 of 61 from field goals. Tennessee 19 of 71.
Brutal.
I mean, that's tough. Field goal percentage, we were 31.1. They're 26.8. 3-point, and it seemed like Tennessee really, and they got open looks.
It wasn't like
they were bad shots. Yeah, they got open looks in the second half. This is maybe the most brutal stat line I've ever seen in a college basketball game. One of them. Of course, y'all can go nitpick it and find another one.
I will say a positive for both these teams.
6 of 40 for Tennessee from 3-point land, a whopping 15%. And they hit them all late.
We were not much better. 16.7% from three-point line tonight.
Ryan, what are you going to say?
I will say a positive for both these teams. It's a lot easier to adjust your offense as the season goes along, and it's a lot easier to get hotter as the season goes along with your offense. Defense, that doesn't happen often. You have to be a good defensive team pretty much all the way through the season if you're a good defensive team. Offensively, it's a lot easier to adjust and create buckets from other places that you don't get early in the season. So that's a positive for both these teams.
Yeah, negative for me, O'Banner. We brought you in to shoot threes, I presume. 2 of 11.
That was bad.
He had 11 shots from 3-point.
Really needed O'Banner.
And only hit 2 of them. He was off tonight. If he hits one more 3, we win this game in regulation.
Well, it's
one more
funny
3.
Because to Nick's point, early in this game, O'Banner hits 2 corner threes. And I'm getting ready to tweet out, don't leave him open in the corner. Second half disappeared, man. Disappeared. And look, I get it. A bit of a shooter back in the day. A connoisseur of shooting. You have off nights. Connoisseur of shooting. I'm speaking Bacho's language, the French tongue right now. you have off nights as a shooter, but we just couldn't buy one. Neither could Tennessee. They had good guys that can typically knock it down, miss shots as well. Another quick, let's focus on some more negatives before we go to the positives.
Because there are a lot of them.
Yeah, let me
sloppy.
go over to
found a
team
way to
stats.
win.
Turnovers was bad. 15 turnovers doesn't do it for you. We had 12 fouls as opposed to Tennessee's 22. I thought this game was officiated pretty well overall. It's a game of basketball. You have a few misses here and there for both sides.
Chargers in college basketball have been
Yeah.
awful for 3 years now, so that's nothing new. They were awful again this game, but
I want to switch over to the positives now because here's the thing. Free throw percentage was not great for Texas Tech. In fact, I would say we're lucky to win this game with the free throw percentage that we had. But here's the bottom line, boys. You win games by shooting better. Texas Tech, 60% from the free throw line, 15 to 25. Tennessee, 50%, 8 of 16.
you're not going to win many
You just couldn't
games
do
shooting 50% from the line. You're not going to win you're not going to win a lot of close games that way, for sure.
Pretty bad. Another quick stat. This is something that I brought up on the podcast that we put out today. Go back. We have a lot of great football content on there. Go back and check it out if you haven't. I said to beat this team, they're lanky, they're athletic, they're hard-nosed, they're physical. We got to rebound at a high clip.
A little dirty, too.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little dirty.
Who's that tall Russian guy they got? Volasic or something?
Yeah, Plavsic.
Hey, I know you're big as
Big
hell.
Russian.
You're big as hell, but hey, watch yourself, dude. Watch yourself, big boy.
You don't do that to Bacho.
You don't do that to Bacho, the kingmaker, the savior of Texas Tech basketball in this one. We're about to highlight him. You do not do that to Bacho. Shame on you. Pathetic. I don't like that, dude. That was dirty as hell. And may God have mercy on your soul. The reference. No, I'm not. I'm joking around. It's not that bad, but seriously, like, God bless you, because that was a little bit dirty. Anyone seen Billy Naxton will appreciate that one. Rebound margin 54 to 47. Texas Tech, we talked about on the podcast, has to hold Tennessee to one and dones. They did that tonight. Tennessee's building a brick house. In fact, a brick mansion with all the threes that they missed. Well, guess what? Texas Tech did what they had to do, and they rebounded the ball, limiting Tennessee's second chance opportunity points. That was a difference maker in this game. And the dude who really solidified it in the end, Daniel Bacho. Speak on his name. Speak on this man.
I will say Bacho did hammer the boards for us, but what went under the radar also is Terrence Shannon hammering the glass as well at 12 rebounds, I think. So that was big.
He had more than Bacho. I mean, played a significant amount of time, more than Bacho, but Terrence Shannon, and I was going to highlight him for another reason. 12 boards, Bacho 11 boards. Guys, speak to that. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, Bacho, I think he's the best player on our team after that game.
Yeah, I think he deserves, in these coming games, I think he deserves a start over Bryson Williams. And you see, I think Adams is going to him a lot. 19 minutes for Williams in this game, and Bacho has 27 minutes off the bench for us. He deserves a start. He's playing well.
What coaches say, it doesn't matter who starts the game. It matters who finishes the game. And who was in the game late in that game was Bacho.
Absolutely.
Out of all of our bigs,
absolutely,
he went to the guy that was getting it done, and it was Bacho all night.
Yeah, absolutely. Bacho, man, you're playing hard perimeter defender. I mean, you don't see that from a near 7-footer, 6'11" guy can guard the guards out there on the perimeter.
I saw him close out on a guard on a three-point shot. Not only did he have a great closeout, denying the three, but also was not beat off the dribble. For a 6'11", 7-foot guy, that's tough to do on a guard. Yeah. And so that was impressive.
Stuff you don't see on the stat sheet, Bacho has it.
Yeah, I agree. He had a great game, and hopefully his minutes continue to rise.
One adjustment, I did like Adams in this game. Malik Wilson started the game last week against Providence and did not have a great game. Wilson underperformed. He underperformed in this game as well. Did not get the start in this game. And so I like the adjustment by Adams. He only played him 5 minutes in this game. That's a reserve, if I've ever seen it, reserve playing time for 5 minutes. Malik Wilson. Good adjustment by Adams on there. You got to show up in practice. You got to show up in the games too for Malik Wilson. So I like the adjustment by Adams.
I'll say this as well. We don't like to rag on guys, and this was a little bit of a, I like Mark Adams, but I'm gonna highlight something that and emphasize a little bit, something that was a tiny bit questionable to me. You don't play Terrence Nadolny. Not Terrence. What's his name?
Clarence.
His real name is Clarence. His real name is Clarence. I'm thinking Terrence Shannon. Look, Nadolny has stuck with the program. He's worked hard in the offseason. He's a grinder. I respect him for that. But all I'm going to say is you bring a guy in off the bench super late in this game, and I get it. You don't have any kind of momentum, any kind of offensive movement in the way you want it to, but you bring him in, and he has Cole off the bench, and that's tough to do as a player. But Nadolny comes in, turnover, comes back down. He's high energy, right? Gets fouled, airballs a 1-and-1 free throw. My question for Adams is just kind of in that moment. I mean, you got to really assess. I feel like, and we're armchair coaching. I get it. You're bringing a guy called the bench who I don't really understand what the spark you were looking for there that you were going to get, and clearly it wasn't there, and it was detrimental, hurtful for the team.
If you're going to do that, you got to get him in rhythm a little earlier than with just 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
You can't just bring a guy cold off the bench and expect him to be a spark plug.
Let me see if we got
when
any
he hasn't really played at all.
Let me see if we got any questions up in this feed right now. Are we still live? We live, baby.
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay, cool. No questions thus far.
The Red Raider fans are pissed tonight. We're going to bed angry.
Any viewers?
Y'all, no, we
have any people watching.
We got viewers. Y'all leave us any questions that you might have as we continue this preview. Another thing I want to say, recap. Another thing I got to say, boys, is offensively. And look,
atrocious.
And I didn't want to go in too hard on it because we talked about it on the pod. Nick and I we're talking about in the first half. Tennessee, I think their Ken Palm rankings, defensive analysis, they're like top 3 or top 4 in the nation in defense. This team can D up. They're long, they're physical, they're lanky like we are. They play a high caliber brand of defense, but our offense, man, I mean, when you have Shannon and McCullough just standing there pounding the ball into the court with Bacho or Williams running up to set a screen, and then they brush them off and they just try to go one-on-one, that is not going to cut it, man. We saw us really struggle on offense against the zone, against Providence. What does that say? And again, Tennessee is an elite brand and level of defense. We know that, but we have to be more fundamentally sound and just more structurally sound. What kind of offense are we running? Getting guys involved, high, low, pick and roll, moving the ball from one side to the other, getting some side starts going with some high post screens. You got to mix it up. You got to move guys around. And right now we are standing and watching and focusing too much on trying to get Terrence Shannon and Kevin McCullough to the basket, and that's not a recipe for success against a team like Tennessee. Let's speak a little bit on that. I mean, really bad offensively tonight. From an offensive or from a X's and O's standpoint.
The best offenses they're fluent and they have a high level of continuity, and that's something we haven't had in like 3 years, 4 years. Since really Beard's offenses weren't great at times.
No, his motion offenses weren't good.
Kind of trickle over. I thought at the beginning of the season we were playing lower competition, so I thought, wow, we've really improved. But these last 2 games have shown that.
And y'all keep dropping questions. Keep those questions.
Haven't improved as much as I thought.
Nick, go ahead.
I'd like to see us do better in transitions. We brought Barrett Peary in as a coach because he's known for his transition, high energy, quick basketball on offense. And a good way, if your offense is stagnant, is to get out and transition. But hats off to Tennessee. I think they did a really good job of limiting us. Once we did get the rebound, we couldn't really push the rock because they had us clamped all night. As soon as one of our guys had the ball, they were pressing us one-on-one to the court, other side of the court. And so we couldn't really get out and transition on this one. But I would like to see Peary step in a little bit more as the offensive kind of coach that we brought in and to kind of push the rock. Get us into a set, or just push the rock, kind of how the Houston Rockets. I'll allude to them. A few years ago, they were fast on transition. They would score a lot of points in transition, and I'd like to see Texas Tech do a little bit better job of setting ourselves up better for success on the offense.
And at some point, also, you're just gonna have to flat out shoot the ball better. At some point, you're gonna have to have people that can just make jump shots and make shots, which didn't happen for us. But it's not like we're getting great shots all the time.
And to both of y'all's points, one to Nick. Hey, look, if your offense isn't great, then you got to try to get it where you can, and transition's the answer. If you can get out and get at Terrence Shannon. I mean, we saw him almost posterize, put the dude straight up on a highlight reel. We got guys that can score in space. If we're struggling in the half court, especially against Tennessee, to Nick's point, why not push it more?
Find the outlet. And
why not have better transition? Lane's point, which here I'm about to go blackout mode again, like I did last night. You were talking about what did you say?
I said, at some point you just gotta have to make
shoot the
shots.
ball.
That's okay. Thank you. I just need a quick reminder.
At some point,
This
people
game-
have to make shots.
Oh, that's the bottom line too. This game boils down to Tennessee couldn't make a damn shot, and Texas Tech couldn't make one.
Yeah.
Does O'Banner usually go 2 from 11 from 3?
No.
He doesn't. He had an off night, couldn't hit him. Does who? I don't know who else was pulling for us really from deep. I think maybe Williams, a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, even jump shots too. We were missing jump shots.
Yeah, we didn't shoot the ball great, and that's indicative of how this game went and how the scoring was. Couple questions here. Shot selection felt like we were just praying and spraying.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I felt like we were just praying and drive in and throw it up and hope for a foul.
And it kind of comes into what we're talking about, getting some fluidity, some continuity with your offense.
Wow,
I mean,
man.
you have to have it.
You would think I took the F. You took the alpha brain tonight. Fluidity, continuity, longevity of success.
I can only talk like big words when it comes to basketball.
And when it comes to drinking red wine, man, you get Lane on a nice full body cab. Anything's you talk about Texas Tech from here is possible.
Anything's possible.
Ramblin' Raiders, anything's possible with a full cab going. Concerns about the transfer play thus far, Williams, Warren, and O'Banner, etc. Okay, so Williams, I was super high on him, maybe preemptively against really inferior competition. Last 2 games, he has his defense is solid. And I want to make that point.
Warren?
Williams.
Williams, okay.
Defense is solid. He hit a 3 tonight. I get that. I believe he had 10 points, Nick. If you can check me on that. Was it 10 or 9?
Williams had 7.
7.
Warren
sorry.
had 10.
Warren
O'Banner
had
had 10.
Williams had 7. We've just seen now against better competition, and especially tonight against better post play. Is Williams, and I don't want to go that far yet, but is he starting to enter into a TJ Holyfield-esque kind of slump on offense? And I'm not going to peg him there yet. I'm not going to do it yet, but I'm just saying he doesn't seem quite as technical, and he doesn't seem to have the same finesse as he did through the first 6 games that we played against inferior competition. Can he improve? Can he get better? He did it at UTSA against Kansas the year before he came to Texas Tech. He's done it. He's proved it. We need to see it now.
Yeah.
Play it out.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing, our bench had 4 points in this game, and when you're scouting the team and you see that bench play is not even a factor in this game, other than Bacho on the defensive side of the ball and rebounding. I mean, that's easy to scout. That's easy to defend against if you know their starters are going to be the ones taking most of the shots. We only had 4 shots from our bench in this game. Adonis Arms had 3, went 0 of 3 from the field, and then Bacho had a layup. And so, if I'm sitting here and I got Tech on the schedule coming up, and I see that their bench is a non-factor, it's easy to scout.
Yeah, again, another point to Williams, though. I said it as a team standpoint, but also as a player standpoint, it's a lot easier to find your rhythm offensively as the season moves along than it is to find your rhythm defensively. So at least he's on the right side of that. He's gelling. Our defense is gelling right now already. So that's a positive moving forward.
Okay, let's talk about Warren and O'Banner.
Okay.
A little bit. I think Warren, he had a huge block. He had a couple great defensive plays in this game. Big block, big drive. Warren is a contributor. He is. I mean, he plays hard, and with a Mark Adams coach team, no middle defense, playing the passing lanes. I think there's a role for Warren to play in that system. And he's, tonight, Nick just said he had 10 points. He had a lot of good defensive plays. I expect Warren to continue to develop and come on. O'Banner, same way. He was
scoring the ball better.
He was a little bit exposed going to the rim tonight. I mean, he had a couple turnovers trying to pump fake and drive and then dish and just couldn't figure it out. He got blocked one time trying to do a floater in the lane. Wow, it's funny how it's coming back to me all of a sudden.
I'm really not that worried about O'Banner. I think he'll come
shoot
on
it
later
better.
in the season, and he will shoot at a better clip, at a higher clip.
I love that he gets his shot off so fast. That
Yeah.
is rare, and for a guy his size, that's a unique trait and skill set. He catches it in the corner, he gets it off quick. Just got to make a couple more of them, and he can.
He's
Make
gonna.
one or
He
two
will.
more.
Eventually, he's a guy that has no fear too, which you like to see because as a shooter, he's going to shoot himself out of it eventually.
Yeah,
So I'm not really worried with that.
shoot.
Shooter's going to shoot, and he's
Shoot
not a
up.
guy who he's not missing shots. He's not going to shy away from it. He's still going to pull it, which is what you want to see because a guy like him who's a good shooter, a good offensive player, it'll come together. It'll happen for him. It'll click here soon.
All right, y'all get any final questions into the chat that you can before we close it out? And on that note, some final thoughts here. I will say our defense, Tennessee got open looks, couldn't make them, but my biggest takeaway is something we talked about in the pod. We rebounded our one and done. Mark Adams has put the right guys in place. He's recruited the right transfers that have the size and the length to rebound at a high clip. That is vital and instrumental for a team that wants to make a deep run late. Look, Tennessee was off, but we damn sure didn't let them get second chance opportunities. That is huge. Daniel Bacho is a huge part of that. Terrence Shannon, Kevin McCullers, our two guards are long. They're 6'6". You got O'Banner, you got Williams in the mix. We have size that can rebound. We did what we needed to do, and we cleaned up the glass. What do they say in Mighty Ducks? We took out the trash. We took out the trash and we cleaned up the boards. That was a big part of our win tonight. Our defense also created turnovers, and they played well enough to get it done. Tennessee helped us from the line. Tennessee helped us by shooting it bad. But that's not all Tennessee. That's also a testament to Mark Adams and to the defensive brand that he has. This team plays defense at a high clip, at a high level, and I'm proud of them on that end of the ball. It's a tale of two halves, right? Or a tale of two sides of the ball right now. Defense is competitive, and we talked about it at the bar, Nick and Lane. That will keep you in games. We saw it with Beard and Adams in years past. Your offense might not be all the way complete, but if you can play defense with the tenacity and at the level that we've seen this team do so far, you're going to be in games. You're going to compete with teams that are high caliber. You're going to compete at a high level and be in those close games. We saw it tonight. Offensively, we have a lot, and I mean a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah, final thoughts from me. We got Arkansas State on the schedule next. Not a great team, not terrible. They're 5-2 right now. They lost to Illinois. They got worked by Illinois.
Illinois is pretty damn good.
I expect us to win that
that.
game. 95% chance to win. ESPN saying to win that game. Then we got Zaga. We got Zags on the schedule after that, and so
Timmy.
Rounding out, getting close here to Big 12 play. Got a couple of games that we need to win for the resume and to kind of continue to tune up and get ready for Big 12 play because we got some stuff to work on.
Conference is looking yet again stacked.
And I will say that win against Tennessee, another thing we discussed, over a couple drinks, seems like all the best ideas
will be on our resume.
All the best ideas start flowing when you're at the bar, right? Lane brought it up earlier. That win was vital for us. It was a key component going into Big 12 play because we lose to Gonzaga and we win out. You go into Big 12 play, that'll put us at 9-2 or something like that. That Tennessee win is a resume builder. You can start building a foundation on your resume. You knock off a couple more ranked teams, a couple more teams in the top tier of whatever the calculation, the calculating and whatever analytical tiers that they have to make it to the tournament. That was a signature win. That is a win that can help you down the road. Make sure you get into postseason play, get into March Madness. Huge dub. What's the ceiling? Last question from Joshua Parsons. Thank you for the interaction and for the questions tonight. We always love interacting with our listenership, our viewership. What's the ceiling for this team thus far, and what's the floor?
I think the ceiling for us is being
top 4 in the Big 12, top 3 in the Big 12.
Highly competitive in the Big 12.
Yeah.
For sure, and competitive in the tournament. This is a team that I think that, if we improve offensively as the season moves along, this is a team that can win a couple games in the tournament for sure. And I wouldn't say that's our ceiling, but, it's a team that can definitely get there. The floor is obviously, if you don't figure it out offensively, you start losing games at home in the Big 12, and it gets ugly. You miss the tournament.
Oh, wait. It looks like we're getting a countdown here. Did you put us on a timer, Nate?
Maybe.
All right, we better wrap it up quick. I agree with Lane. I think we're ceiling top 4 team, top 3 team in the Big 12, floor
Bottom
6,
half of the
7,
league.
yeah, bottom half of the league, man. I mean, if you can't figure it out on offense.
Ceiling national championship run.
Oh wait, no, our timer just went up. I mean, we're gonna win the Natty. Here's a couple things I want to say too, guys. Tonight was a glimpse of the future of not only Texas Tech basketball, Texas Tech football. We come in and play a ranked team, a good SEC basketball team, and it was a gritty game. We find a way to win. We find a way to get it done. Texas Tech has a bowl game against Mississippi State, SEC team, not in the East, in the West, a little bit different, but still competitive, mid-tier, right there in the mix. Expect a similar result in the Liberty Bowl. Y'all hear the SEC. I don't hear any SEC chants tonight coming from New York because Texas Tech reigns supreme in the Jimmy V. Tennessee fans, sit down and bow down to Daniel Bacho, the kingmaker and the ultimate thorn in your side for your fan base for this game, and the one who got us this dub, TJ Shannon as well. Two of y'all's weaknesses here. Take a seat, bow down to the greatness. Mark Adams, Texas Tech gets it done. Looking at the top 25, expect Sonny Cumbie, now Louisiana Tech head coach, to do something similar to our old leader and what's play caller, Mike Leach, our captain. No longer.
Okay.
We have a new captain in town. We have a new leader and a new general in Joey McGuire. He might not be on the sidelines, but what he's instilled and his passion for Texas Tech football, what he's building has already started, and it's going to bleed through in the Liberty Bowl. Get ready, SEC fans. This isn't the first or the last time you see Texas Tech whooping ass on the SEC. It's coming soon. December 28th, Liberty Bowl. Get ready, baby.
Let the tortillas fly.
And hopefully Mississippi State fans don't find this footage of it. I'm just kidding. Hey, y'all, wreck 'em always. Thank y'all for tuning in. Big win tonight in the Jimmy V, baby. Beat breast cancer. Beat Tennessee. We out.